Dahl joins us now from Saskatoon, Canada. He is an entertainment lawyer and musician himself. Thanks so much for speaking to us. You've heard both songs, Taurus and Stairway to Heaven. Was this decision fair?
You know, it's a great question. I think it was fair at the end of the day. You know, there is similarities, but the question is how similar were they? And you know, had the Taurus song won, I think that would be quite scary for creators going forward because it would mean that you couldn't use certain chord progressions in songs, and I think that would be quite limiting on the rock and roll or music in general.
So it could have had a really chilling effect, legally speaking.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great term, chilling effect, exactly.
Right. You know, we saw a somewhat similar case emerge between the estate of Marvin Gaye and Robin Thicke for his Blurred Lines hit, and Pharrell Williams, of course. You know, that was a song that sounded, in my opinion in particular, so much like what was recorded in 1977, yet hundreds of artists came out in support of Robin Thicke, saying the verdict would be, quote, very dangerous to the music industry. Was it dangerous?
Yeah, well, as with all these cases, I mean, it's a question of fact, and no two cases are the same. I agree with you that with the Blurred Lines comparison and plagiarism, I thought it was a lot more similar than with the Stairway to Heaven. And part of it was that they admitted, both Pharrell and Robin Thicke admitted that they were basing their song off of that Marvin Gaye song, which is not very good for their court case. But they admitted that we were trying to emulate that song, and that's definitely, you know, Led Zeppelin never admitted that. So with each of these cases, I mean, it's very important to look at the exact details, and I think Blurred Lines was plagiarism.
Okay, fair enough. You know, though, let me ask you as a musician, as the years go by, is it getting harder and harder for musicians not to sound like they're, you know, sampling or copying others in any way whatsoever? I mean, how many sounds and tunes can musicians keep creating?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there is only so many chords, right? I mean, there's like the 7 major chords, and sort of you mix them up in different ways to put songs together. And so, yeah, there is only so many melodies out there and so many chord progressions. So yes, I think, you know, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I think in the next 5, 10 years, we're going to see more and more of these cases. And yeah, it's sort of, I find it fascinating as obviously lawyer and musician, but I think a lot of songwriters out there are probably a bit worried that, you know, am I going to get sued for plagiarism when I release this song?
Okay, then give us an idea, you know, as an entertainment lawyer, of, for example, what it costs to pursue a case like this against a band, an empire as big as Led Zeppelin in the world of rock and roll.
Yeah, and that's a great word, empire, when it comes to Led Zeppelin. I mean, look at how much Stairway made in the last 5 years. So you're right. I think, you know, proving plagiarism or accusing plagiarism and proving it are two very different things. And it's only going to happen, it's only going to go to court if there's a lot of money involved. Otherwise, I mean, to get it in front of a judge is going to cost you tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, I mean, it's only in cases where it's, you know, Blurred Lines or Stairway to Heaven where it's going to make sense. So, I mean, I get emails all the time saying, I think someone stole my song. And I say, well, how much did that stolen song earn? And they say, well, not much. And I said, well, you know, we're not going to pursue it then. Wait till it makes $1 million and then call me back.
Okay, Kurt, we're going to leave it there. Thanks so much for your insight there from Saskatoon. We appreciate it.